What's going on, everybody? Manny Reads Comics here, back with Radiant Black number 6. If you haven't been reading this, if you're here to find out if you should be reading this, the answer is yes. Don't even worry about the rest. Go read it. If you haven't read any of the past issues, go read it. If you're here just to see my review, awesome, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. But, yeah, no. Radiant Black's been great. I know that this issue is... When I first saw this, I saw it was Radiant Red. Money, basically you can kind of put two and two together that it's gonna be a backstory kind of thing, which on one side it's a good, we kind of get a break. The last issue, it was such like a cliffhanger that I want issue 7 now, right? But this is needed. This gives you kind of a little bit of a pause, and basically you do get to know Radiant Red and why they did what they did. But it, like I said, it is just a backstory, so it is what it is there, right? But going into it, we meet with Radiant Red, who, again, I know that if you clicked on this video or you're listening to this podcast, basically you know that this is a spoiler. But again, if you're here to see if you should read this series, you should probably just stop watching it. And yeah, I'll stop right here. So Satomi is Radiant Red, and she is having this is how it started. She's having a family dinner. She's there with her fiance Owen. Everyone's having a good time. They're talking about the wedding. I think her sister was saying something about as soon as you walked in the door with him, we knew you were going to get married with him. It's just a nice family dinner. Everything looks great. Everything's amazing. The parents are trying to say yeah, we know a thing or two about being together for over 20 years or something like that. I don't know. But it just looks like a perfect life, basically, I guess you could say. But then as soon as you turn a page, they're driving home, Satomi and Owen, and it's just awkward. You can the art, you can really tell it's just an awkward silence, kind of like a did you lock the door before we left or something. It's just basically they're just going through the motions, and he even goes out and grabs her hand, and it's he doesn't grab her hand out of affection, but it's more of a may I grab your hand. It's weird. It's almost like they just got in a fight, but they didn't. Like I said, it's been a good night all night, and then in the car while they're driving home, it's just awkward. But as soon as they get home, they see that there's somebody waiting at the front door. Satomi looks worried, and she looks over at Owen. Owen doesn't know who it could be, but you quickly get the sense that Owen kind of has a gambling problem. And the guy that was there, I can't tell if it was the guy from the bank or if it was just something else, but it was someone there to collect money. And Owen had to convince him to give him some more time. But yeah, so there's that. And so Owen tells, Satomi, obviously, like any other guy, basically, hey, don't worry about it. I got it. Everything's under control. She's asking him, hey, when did you start gambling again? So it's obviously, it's been an issue, and he's starting it back up. And he's like, no, you don't need to worry. I got this. I have this project at work coming in. As soon as it goes through, we're going to be fine. And she reveals that she doesn't reveal to Owen, but she reveals to us that we could use the school account for her grad school. And he's like, no, we would never touch that. That's your stuff. It's your stuff. You're going to school for it. You're gonna make us proud, blah blah blah. So you kind of get the sense that Owen's not that bad of a guy. He just has a gambling problem, but he's not gonna push it so far to take away Satomi's future, right? Something tells Satomi she can't go to sleep. She doesn't, she's not letting it go, basically. And so she sneaks out. She goes to Owen's office, which is like a construction site. And she goes through his papers, and she realizes oh man, they're in a huge amount of debt, and Owen is just talking to talk, but he's in trouble, and she needs to help. So she goes outside. She's a little upset. She looks up in the sky, and this is one of my favorite scenes. We see the radiant holes, basically the radiant black holes, separate, it's like a flying, or not flying, a falling star, and it just separates, and you can see the different colors. And so that did get me asking, did this happen the same night that Nathan got his Radiant Black powers, or like basically it's got me questioning if everyone got their powers around the same time, or if like that's where it separated and then it took some time, like maybe Satomi got it that same night, Nathan got it maybe a week later, like it took time to find the Radiants. But I don't know, like that they show them there and then they don't show them again, so we might find out in the next issue. But it would be cool to see them get it all at the same time, but it would also make sense for them not to. But anyways, she gets hit by the Radiant Red energy, and immediately, you know, she transforms. She's got the power. She's falling. When she fell off like a cliff, she lands with the Radiant Red energy. It has the power to absorb, so like it went into her foot, and she quickly realizes that she's got some kind of power. And then she kind of gets an idea in her head, and we see her parked outside of a bank the next day. And in my head, I was like, "Oh my God, she's worse than Marshall." I don't know if you've seen my other videos on Radiant Black, you know that I'm not a huge Marshall fan, and so like me saying that she's worse than Marshall is basically just saying because she got this power and immediately was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go rob a bank." And Marshall, on the other hand, I feel like he would not have got, like if he would have grabbed it instead of Nathan, I don't think he would have gone to rob a bank. I think he would have definitely like gone to the hero route, but he would have sucked. But either way, she goes to a bank. I assumed that she was there to rob a bank, but no, actually what happens is that she gets that confidence from this power. She's like, I'm a badass now, so I can do this. And so she goes into the bank and she's just basically asking for a way to, like, a debt forgiveness, or how, like, give me some more time kind of thing, or loan as well. And the bank is just like, no, we're not gonna do it, your husband's already tried. And then she goes, oh, all right, fine, like how about you can use my check my grad school account, and that should give me more than enough credit, you know. And the banker looks it up and it's completely empty, like $0, nothing in there at all. So Owen was just a lying piece of, you know, like I said earlier, you get that sense that he would never, he's not going to take away her future. But no, that's just how good of a liar he is, honestly. And so she gets home before him. When he gets home, she's mad, she's angry at him, and you know, she lashes out. She tells him where she's been, and then he tries to like turn it around on her, and is like, well, how dare you go to the bank? I told you I had it taken care of. This is your fault. Now we're gonna look bad. Everything right now that we're going through is your fault, even though it's him with the gambling problem. But I was gonna get mad if she had let that slide, or if she let that affect her. But she, in a good way, she turns it back on him, and it's like, no, we're here because of you. We're here because of your problem, and this is your fault. Do not try to turn this around on me. And she leaves in anger. And he knows that it's his fault. And he tried to call her back. He said, "I'm sorry. I can't take the words back. I shouldn't have said that. Please don't give up on me." And so, but she keeps walking away. And that's when we see her. She goes and we see that you can see the cover there. She goes and steals a bunch of money. Comes back. She said, "I took care of it," and that's it, basically. That's technically how it ends right there. Basically, she looks like a boss, you know. She just has the two bags in front of Owen. Owen, I think if I remember correctly, he's just like on his knees, like, "What did you do?" And that's how it ends. And that just kind of gives me a sense that moving on, if we do get that team up that is kind of foreshadowed, kind of teased at the end of the last issue, if they remain a team, I'm pretty sure she's gonna have some trust issues. So she's not gonna be able to trust her teammates because of Owen, and hopefully she's done with Owen, honestly, right? But we don't know how far back this is in the timeline that we've been currently in. But yeah, no, honestly, it's just, I feel like she's gonna have trust issues, and that's gonna play something in future storylines. But for this issue, because it's just a backstory, like I am giving it a 6.5. That doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean anything against it. It is a good backstory. It gives you a way to connect with her, you know, and realize why she did what she did. I really love the Radiant scene with the comet, with the falling star thing. But other than that, it's just a backstory. There's nothing. If this did not exist in this world, basically, if the issue 6 did not exist, it wouldn't take away from the storyline that we have with Radiant Black. So therefore, not that important. But it is. I'm just going back and forth on my words. It is important, but it's not. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10. Either way, read this series. Kyle Higgins is doing an amazing job, and I mean he wrote Power Rangers, and if you don't like Power Rangers, I don't know, maybe you won't like this, but go read this book. No, other than that, that's all I got for you. Radiant Black is coming out next month, so you got plenty of time to catch up on the series. And if you haven't already, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, follow me on any podcast platform as well. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. Bye.